Thank you, Dr. Edith Basalirwa. A very good morning to you, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to welcome you back to our Become a Better Entrepreneur series. And I must admit that we have missed the energy of these sessions during our break in January and February. And I would like to mention that as we kick off with our first session of 2026, we are not only looking at how to build bigger businesses, but we really want to look at how to build better ones. So thank you very much for getting back with us. This morning, we are going to be listening to our speaker who is going to share his experience on building a business, looking at profit with purpose. And in this topic, we are really looking at the old school idea that business is only about money. Most of the time when we start a business, we are looking at how do we get the money, how do we, become wealthy. But this morning, we are going to learn how to build a business venture that changes lives while at the same time building wealth. Our speaker is Mr. Leonard Mutesasira. He's a social entrepreneur, an environmental steward, and the founder of the Great Outdoors Nature Resort. I don't know if you have been there, but I've been told amazing things about the resort. Mr. Mutesasira is a social entrepreneur who has pioneered a commercially viable, conservation-driven business model in the hospitality sector. He's the founder of the Great Outdoors Nature Resort, a 60-plus room nature-based facility situated on over 100 acres of restored and protected ecosystem. And this is approximately 35 kilometers north of Kampala. This enterprise operates a structured social venture where profits are reinvested into the ecosystem restoration and biodiversity production rather than distributing it for personal consumption. The model has enabled the business to protect and actively restore 100+ acres of land. And he also, in this enterprise, supports reforestation and long-term land regeneration programs. He hosts leading corporate brands, NGOs, and international conferences. He has created sustainable employment in a peri-urban setting, and he's really positioning conservation as an economically viable outcome of enterprising. Under his leadership, the resort has evolved into a platform where commerce, environmental stewardship, and social impact converge. Revenues generated from the hospitality operations are directly fund tree planting, habitat preservation, soil restoration, and water conservation initiatives on the property. He believes that Africa's environmental future requires self-sustaining, profit-generating enterprises that internalize ecological restoration into their capital allocation frameworks. There's quite a lot I can say about Mr. Mutesasira, but I would like to mention that we are very excited to host you, sir. We wanted to host you last year, but we couldn't get to you. And that's why I thank my friend Rebecca, who ensured that we get to speak to you and invite you this morning. You have 40 minutes to make your presentation, and I would like to welcome you, sir. Thank you. Josh, will you unmute our speaker?
Yes, Doctor. May I request, I think he's in the chat, but under a different name. So may I request him to maybe type in the chat?
Okay, so he's Lowy JB. I think you'll be able to find him.
Okay. All
He's
right.
signed in
Thank you.
as Lowy JB.
All right. Yes, Mr. Mutesasira, I've shared permission to become a panelist. All right, you now have permission to unmute.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
All right. Good morning, all of the doctors that have spoken before, and good morning to the entire audience. I am very, very excited to be invited to participate in this very, very wonderful work that you are doing. I am super excited to hear this, partly because I came to MOODS not as a student, of course, as a little kid. Back then, it was called the Uganda College of Commerce in 1969, when my father was one of the pioneer students in that college. So I'm very excited to be once again part of the journey. I am going to go through, my presentation is going to take 3 phases. One, I'm going to introduce myself. Then I'll play 2 videos that I've already submitted to you. Then, based on those videos, we shall extract the lessons that we have learned along the way in this context of this particular enterprise. So I am going to start off right away. I hope you can see me clearly, because where I am, I'm in the bush. The light is not up yet, but I'm sure you can hear me. Yeah. So I went to school in Namiriango Junior Boys School. It was a boarding school in 1971. We learned a lot of very important lessons on resilience, being creative, and I believe that had an impact on the way that I've wound up. Then I went to St. Mary's College, Chisubi, again as a boarding school, learned a lot of wonderful things, but one of which was learning to swim, swimming across the lake, learned a lot of resilience, and somehow I believe that prepared me to really swim through the dangerous waters of entrepreneurship. Then I went to Makerere College School, where I did my A-level. Then finally went to Makerere University, where I did a bachelor's in social sciences. I was very, very keen on sociology because I wanted to solve social problems. Unfortunately, as I learned along the way, sociology, without being equipped with business tools, was not sufficient. So I got fortunate. I'll cut out the detail, and I went to the US to do a master's in business administration that had a focus on doing business and using business as a tool for social transformation. So I graduated in 1995 and fortunately got to work in a bank, got to work with a boutique finance company in New York City, eventually did some work with the World Bank, did work across the Eastern Southern African region, advising banks, and was fortunate to go to many places. I guess there's not a place I didn't go to across the world except maybe Australia. And all along, all of these informed my entrepreneurial journey. I have along the way been able to participate in many businesses. Many have failed, and a lot of them have taught me very, very important lessons. Some have succeeded and still run. So currently, I'm involved in technology in the UK. I'm involved in finance in Uganda. I'm involved in real estate, commercial forestry, and the story goes on. Some do work very well, others, they remain a struggle. We continue to swim along, resilient, and sometimes we win, sometimes we learn. So along the way, when I was working with the World Bank especially, and I was sort of a donor, donating money that didn't belong to me really, so it was difficult to dictate what channels it would take. So I felt a strong urge to perhaps start an enterprise that would allow me to channel the money the way I wanted it to be channeled. Unfortunately, I also had another motivation, which was I had a keen interest because of the different places I had visited, beautiful places, and we used to host workshops in the forest, especially I remember South Africa and Zimbabwe. And I said, why don't I create a business that can allow me to be a donor to a cause that was really very close to my heart? And this is why my wife and I started to run a business that is what it is now. So the business started like 17 years ago. We bought the land. And the reason we're buying the land was not just because of anything. This land somehow 200 years ago belonged to my great-grandfather. He was a heroic individual. And I sort of wanted in a small way to walk in his path. He had been granted a lot of land by the king then, but of course, because of successive generations of inheritance, it was broken down into small pieces. So I talked to a lot of my uncles who were able to sell it back to me at not such a big price because they believed in what I was trying to do, which was restore my great-grandfather's legacy by doing something that can influence and impact several generations ahead. And so I was being asked, why did I start this business? It was more because I was frustrated with donor money that comes with a lot of strings attached. And I had to do something about it. But secondly, I started it because I wanted to preserve my great-grandfather's legacy, which is like 6 generations down the road. So fortunately, I know many businesses fail. 95 failed, they say, within the first 1 year, but I have been surviving. And so 17 years down the road, we planted a lot of trees. And then eventually 10 years down the road, after the trees were grown, we started harvesting them. We harvested them and started constructing a lot of lodges. And currently we have 62 rooms, and we planted lots of forests, and we're able to harvest the timber, and we've used it for the furniture that you shall see in a little video that I'm going to play for you. So that is really the story. My school informed me a lot of the academic work was important, but extracurricular activities, including swimming and learning to survive in school, prepared me for what I'm doing currently. So I am going to ask the techies that side. I shared 2 videos. One of the videos is going to set the stage for us to see what is it that we do at the Great Outdoors, because a picture is worth 1,000 words. Then the second video is going to tell us specifically what we use the money for. So one of them is we do a wellness program. A patient is rather not, a client is going to share how they came and how they recovered from their ailment. And secondly, we'll show you that the money we made from the client, with typical clients of that type, we use it to restore the environment. So our dual mission is one, restore human beings to good health, and then use the money that we get to restore the ecosystem, to regenerate the biodiversity. So over to you. Please play those 2 videos for me, and then I'll come back and talk to you.
For the last 5 years, I think. But recently I got an attack. I could not breathe, I could not walk. I've been having asthma for the last 5 years, I think. But recently I got an attack. I could not breathe, I could not walk a long distance. So I decided to come to Palanano and rest. But my experience is, after 2 days of walking in the forest, I felt better. Even I could walk a long distance. What surprised me most, I started smelling mujaja. I'd taken a long time without smelling anything. So I could smell mujaja, and I like mujaja so much in my tea. I felt so good, so good. Even generally, I feel good. When I go back home, my children will be surprised for sure. My pressure has been good. They've been taking my pressure measurement morning and evening. I read some books. It's all about food, so I'm going to also to change my diet and start eating. I've been eating healthy, but some things I didn't know that they bring more mucus in the body, because asthma is all about mucus. So if you get rid of mucus from your body, your life can improve. I would recommend this for anybody who is suffering from asthma, high blood pressure, to come to Kalanamo and rest. I've been exercising morning and evening. Wow, it's a very good experience, and I hope I carry on and even spread the gospel to my children and my friends. I appreciate this little girl here, Rika. It has been good. We've been talking. We've been experiencing so much. Yeah.
Thank you. So let's play this again. Thank you so very much for the video. Am I audible? Can you hear me?
Yes, we do hear you, Mr. Mutesasira.
Okay, fantastic. Let me hope it was clear, but my assignment, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Now, my assignment was, what are the lessons? So I hope I can present just 10 lessons, and then we can have a question and answer session where hopefully we will be able to address any other issues that might be of interest to you. So let me start off. So the first lesson that we have picked is, so first of all, I'll say, maybe as a summary, is that the Great Outdoors is a family enterprise. It's now 17 years in the making, but 5 years as an enterprise. 2, we are a dual mission wellness resort. We restore physical health for people whose money we use to restore the planet and all the beauty that God made it to be. And thirdly, we're a social enterprise where earnings fund the ecosystem restoration and biodiversity regeneration. We know we are in danger because of the commercial forestry that some of us participated in. We've learned later that unless we restore the planet the way it was, we shall not have things like bees that pollinate plants so we can have food. We shall not have the biodiversity that has a lot of value, which commercial, blind commercialism has sort of destroyed. So I'll start with this, that the first lesson is, because 17 years ago I started with buying the land because of what I told you about my grandfather or great-grandfather. The initial idea was to plant trees and bring the land back. So what I've learned out of this, that a powerful personal story, because that is what motivated me, allows you to go beyond money. Even when the money doesn't work, the personal story, the personal motivation can keep you moving. And for me, because I'm working for the next generation and maybe perhaps a lot more generations, even when the going goes hard, tough, it keeps me going. So don't focus on the money, find a noble cause and let it fire you on. And the second lesson that we have is some of the best investments take time to mature. Patient capital and long-term thinking build a strong foundation. This is not a quick buck. You need to be really patient. So we have been able to build 62 rooms using the timber that we planted. We planted the timber. So it's a journey of like 17 years, and patience becomes extremely important. I know people think short term, but I would encourage anybody that cares to think long term. Now, lesson 3, a self-sustaining model where profit directly fuels purpose is stronger and more reliable than depending on grants and donor money. You know what has happened recently? When Donald Trump took away the donor money, it's important to build a social mission that can be powered by market forces, by making profit. So when we earn money from a patient like you saw, we have been able, she paid 2.7 million shillings for a 7-day package. She got results as you saw, and we've been able to use that money to not only create employment and sustain a workforce of 55 people, but we are able to support the restoration of nature and the conservation of nature of over 100 acres, and we're inspiring a lot more people along the way. Now, lesson number 4, by serving a diverse range of clients, from corporates to families, we diversify our revenue and we can scale with impact. We have served every leading brand you can imagine, and in fact, we've even hosted moves at the Great Outdoors for their retreats. We work with the banks, with government, with universities. We diversify our revenue in addition to private individuals looking for wellness. It is important to diversify. Otherwise, if the donors had left us without money, I think would have closed, like I know a lot of organizations have, that we are so donor dependent. Now, lesson number 5, to sustain a purpose-driven business, you need to build a community of advocates who believe in what you are doing. You saw in the video, we host an annual marathon to promote the cause for nature. And I would like to invite you every June, Heroes Day, we celebrate trees as our unsung heroes. So this is not a direct revenue generator, but it's an awesome tool. It brings the community closer to the mission, and we are delighted. So we'll be running it for the 6th year this year. Last year, we had about 400 people. We are aiming at having about 1,000 this year around. Now, lesson number 6, impact is not just a story. It must be measured. It must be tangible numbers. This is what gets partners to be interested in working with you. So many companies work with us because they feel we fit into their ESG framework and commitments. So because we have restored over 100 acres and it is visible, we've done it over 15 years, which means we are resilient. We have built over 62 rooms and we're still building, which show results. And we've created 55 current jobs, but we've trained over 150 young people from the community to be, into carpenters and foresters. That is measurable results that many partners would like to associate with. Lesson number 7, a generational mindset forces you to make decisions that are good for business, the community, and the environment in the long run. We tend to think short term. When I talk to people about 17 years of patiently building the enterprise, they get very, very, very surprised. But there's no way we are going to do things when we think short term. So I would like to encourage everybody that buying land that belonged to a family 6 generations ago and planning to build things that can impact 6 generations and more in future is what we actually need to commit to ourselves. And it is doable. It can look like a daunting task, but please, I think it's doable. So these are 7 lessons. I talked about 9, but I think I'll stick to the 7. So in a nutshell, this is where we are, that we have built a business that is impacting people. But the key lessons that I'd like to share with you before I open up for questions and answers is, 1, start with a personal story that has purpose, that has meaning. It will keep you going even when the profits seem to be not coming. The second thing is invest with patience. Haste makes waste. Build a legacy. Do not be obsessed with, quick profits. Build a business that is designed to transform society, not simply transform your pocket. Build a self-sustaining model. Donor funding has showed us this year that it is us. But if we build a model that funds the social mission because of the profits you earn by delivering a very good quality service, you will be sustainable for years to come. Then thirdly, serve a diverse market. 4th, build a movement around your cause, hence the marathon. Measure your impact because people want numbers. Numbers don't lie. Anything you can't measure, you do not know. And then finally, think along generations. Let's not think short term. Because at the greater doors, our guests indirectly fund our mission, profits truly serve purpose. So hence, our profits with purpose. I hope in my presentation I've been demonstrated that yes, we make a profit, and indeed we serve a wonderful purpose. So over to you. I'd like to entertain any questions and answers, and I hope you enjoyed the presentation so far.
Wow. Mr. Mutesasira, thank you. Thank you so much for a great presentation. It has been a wonderful presentation. We've learned a lot, and I'm excited. I would like to find out, my first question is find out the proper location of your place. Kindly, you direct us. That is my first question. But we have learned a lot. You are doing a lot. You are doing a lot of things. I pick lessons. We pick lessons. And I know many people who are logged on this morning have picked lessons. One of the biggest lessons is think long term, not short term. This generation, people are always hurrying. They want to do things in a very, very short time. But now you bring a long-term perspective, which is helping us a lot. I would like to borrow from your background, the way you started, how you picked the legacy from the schools you went to, the extracurricular activities that you pick, which helped you out, and how you progressed through the different schools, how you wanted to help society, and you went for social sciences at university, but eventually you realized you needed business orientation, and you had to go to the US to do an MBA. Your background is very exciting. Whatever I saw in the videos is very good. I don't want to waste a lot of time. I would like to invite other people who have comments to make. I would like to request Mr. Josh Karuhanga to help us manage Q&A. Josh, please. And thank you, Mr. Mutesasira, for managing time. You've given us good time to interact with. Josh, please handle Q&A.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Edith Pasalira. And thank you very much, Mr. Mutesasira, for the presentation. So there's so much feedback in the chat. I believe people have certain questions, and I'm here to lead the Q&A part. I would just like to let everyone on the call know that Q&A, we're going to handle it in these ways. You're able to ask your question, you can type it in the chat, but alternatively, you can raise your electronic hand and you'll be given permission to unmute and ask your question directly. The other alternative is there's a Q&A part of Zoom where you can also type your question and it will be read out and responded to. So please feel free to ask your questions, raise your hand, type your question in the chat. Maybe before we start, I'll just address the issue of the recording. All the recordings are shared on our YouTube channel. I will share the link here. You can like and subscribe. Anytime we share a new video, you'll get a notification. But other than that, there's a lot of appreciation in the chat for you. Here, Njiro Joseph says, thank you for bringing him. I am personally inspired. Mr. Moses Mine is quoting, haste brings waste, long-term perspective generates sustainability. And Enid here is saying, very insightful. I have personally been to the place. It is so amazing, and I'm so glad to hear from him. Still more people are inspired. James is saying, this is very inspirational. Kindly indicate the location. And maybe just one last comment here from Henry, who says, thanks a lot, Mr. Mutesasira, for the great presentation. We're thrilled and very inspired. So maybe the question that is looming in the chat is directions to the location.
Okay. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, so the Great Outdoors is located 35 kilometers north of Kampala on the Gayaza Zirowe Road. If you know where Bugema University is, we are right next door to it. So if you come from Kampala, go to Gayaza, there are two. You get to Gayaza, the road splits into two. So you take a left and you go 10 miles to the left on Zirowe Road, you'll find it and we'll be delighted to receive you. And in case you're interested, we go to our website, you'll find a pin. If you search, using any of the digital channels, you'll be able to make it. And if you go to our website, the directions are very clear. And if, again, you don't mind, I can drop you a Google pin. So I hope that makes it clear.
Yes, it does. Thank you very much. I see Director Dr. Diana is, I think, has also a question. That's how engaging the session has been.
Thank you. Thank
Yes,
you very much, Josh. Mr. Mutesasira, again, I would like to say that it's been an honor for us to be with you this morning. I just wanted you to say a little more about how you work with family in the business, because you talked about the enterprise as one that is run by the family, and what is your experience working?
Did we lose you?
I think, yes, I think you can go ahead. She had finished earlier.
Okay, yeah. So the first one was, how do I work with the family? A family business, as many of you know, needs to be it has to run along the very same principles of any business, which means the team must be able to be aligned properly. And everybody is like being on a bus. Some people have got to be drivers. Sometimes everybody can be a driver, but you can take different turns to drive the car. Some of you have read a book called Built to Last. Another title by the same author is called Good to Great. One of the analogies he has is that it's a business like a bus. When you have the right people on the bus and you get the wrong people off the bus, and you have the right people in the right places on the bus can go any direction without much of a hitch. So in terms of family business, it is still the same issue. I get involved with my wife and in fact, two of my daughters. One of my daughters studied a degree in hospitality in one of those foreign countries. She's still working there, but she brings in a huge perspective, and she's enabled us to make the place as wheelchair accessible as possible. Many of you that come to it, you'll be amazed. We don't have any stairs. We know that people that have had accidents need access, but so do the people that are getting older, like me. So we need accessible. So she brings in that input, expertise as a hospitality specialist. Now she studied this partly because we're building this. Second thing is, we really are running like a good percentage of our revenue from as a wellness resort. My wife is a surgeon. She is also a public health professional. So she brings a certain angle of healthcare that is very specialized, and brings the the respect and the authenticity and the respect to the business as a wellness resort. So she brings in her expertise at that level. My other daughter is a communication specialist. She worked, with the CNN in Washington at some point, but decided to come and help daddy not, submerge under this enterprise. So she brings in a huge amount of advice in terms of communication. And then finally, I bring in more of being able to swim in the world of entrepreneurship. I know where to raise money. I know how to create teams. I know how to build systems as an entrepreneur. And maybe what I didn't even tell you, I used to be a lecturer in an MBA program in the school I attended in the US. So I also bring in a little bit of a theoretical approach to building a resilient social enterprise. I research, I have resources that tell me. So as a family, everybody brings something to the table. My wife is a medical person, so she brings credibility. My daughter is a hospitality specialist, so she advises at that level. My other daughter is a communication specialist, so she brings in value. And I bring in what I've said. I bring it. I hope that gives us a bit of a picture of how the family, difficult as it can be, because family can be challenging, but if you define your roles, it makes it a whole lot easier. Over to you.
Thank you very much. There are more questions that have come in the chat, so maybe I'll read them to you two by two and give you a chance to respond. Still more appreciation in the chat from, I see Hope Jemima is thanking you for the value. And then Keith, since you also talked about systems, is asking what systems can an enterprise use to track impact? Then the second question from Mr. James Babumba in Q&A is asking what kind of trees and other plants are of your interest in land restoration? So the first question was about the systems you use to track impact. And about trees.
Okay, great. Thank you so very much for those wonderful questions. One, the system. It's important to work with a team. So part of the work I do, I engage specialist PhD holder who is based in Kenya, very wonderful man by the name of Dr. Bishira Andrew. So he is a specialist in measuring impact, especially impact on restoration. Secondly, we are working and building an impact assessment system. It's a geomap. We are working in partnership with the Metropolitan University of Toronto. They're building a geomap that maps the entire place so that over time, we can engage people that are referred to as citizen scientists, including students. They can come, they can download an app. And say, for instance, if we want to see the progress of how many mivule trees we have planted, we can create a weekend where we download the app and every guest of ours and anyone that wants to participate goes tracking these different endangered trees, especially in this case, the mivule tree. And every time you take a picture of it, it takes a GPS location and it is uploaded. And we can see the growth rate at which it is growing over time. So it's a longitudinal study where we are using cloud-based database, a geomap built by specialist partners to allow us to measure impact in terms of growth, the density of the vegetation, and a whole lot of these things which my scientists do very well. So in terms of trees, we on our team have an ethnobotanist, wonderful guy with a master's degree. We hired him recently because we felt we needed to bring a lot more science to the enterprise. So he knows what trees we need, but we're mainly interested in the endangered trees that have been listed by the IUCN or something like that, the International Conservation Network, something like that. And so we pay special attention to those trees because they have value. And if we create a repository where once the country wakes up, maybe at some point, I might be dead at that point, we believe those trees, people will find them. So we want to join hands with other organizations. But there's one called Lutrico, a very inspirational organization. So if we can participate with a lot of others to create a repository that next generation can come and find trees, we will do everything we can. But specifically, what trees are we interested in? The ones that are endangered. I hope that answers the question.
I believe it did. Because of more questions, I would want to ask you 3 at a time now. I don't know if that is okay. All right. So the first one comes from So the first one comes from Peter Kavanda, who says many thanks, and asks, how would you encourage a generation that largely thinks short term? So that is one question. The next is from Ngabonziza. I hope I've pronounced that right. But they ask, how did you manage your partners in the eyes of loss? And thirdly, from Sonko, he says, which advice would you give to a young generation who earns less periodic amounts but may like to multiply to reach such big long-term investments?
Okay. Thank you so very much. I hope I can answer the questions. The first one from Mr. Ngabonziza. Nice to hear you on the chat. I know you. That one is my son, so I should declare son adopted in a way. How do you manage partners when you face loss? This we've not had to manage this in this case, but I've been involved in other enterprises where I've had partners. It is extremely important that beyond the memorandum and articles of association, an enterprise has a shareholder agreement. I can't emphasize that enough. And the shareholder agreement should not simply be a rigid document. It should really be approached with a good hand. It's tough, but it spells out exactly what happens when things go wrong. It also gets people to understand that you are basing on business projections that are not made in heaven. They can go south, and just in the same way they can go up north. They can go, you can be extremely profitable. So how do you deal with partners? There's so many variations in dealing with business partners, but I believe the foundational document, and if anyone needs any help, they can always come and talk to me because I've had a lot of mistakes along the way. But the shareholder agreement becomes extremely important because it gives you a pathway on how to manage moving forward. But also, you don't wait until trouble has happened. Keep updating, have very good data that you share so that when the loss comes, it doesn't come as a surprise. I hope that helps. Then the second one is, how do you encourage long-term thinking? Thank you, Peter Kamanda. Long-term thinking, I don't know how to encourage people, but I would like to ask them to look at nature. Nature doesn't rush, but it accomplishes much. So reflect on nature. Things that endure for a long time take time. If you look at grass that grows in 2 days and it is flat, and you compare it to the muvule tree that can take as many as 100 years, the muvule tree does not rush. It takes its time. Resilience takes time. So I will encourage people to think about nature, draw inspiration from it, because nature thinks long-term and it accomplishes much. So the third question was, how do I multiply my little resources and be able to do big things? I am 62 years old. I can tell you one thing. There is nothing like a quick path that I've seen. It has to be 1 shilling at a time, 1 shilling at a time. Save 10% plus of your revenue and invest it diligently. One by one, somehow with God's blessing, you will eventually build it. But I don't have a quick path except to say, save 10%, at least learn to live within your means. But even more importantly, if you want other people's money, be trustworthy. Trustworthy at 2 levels. Trustworthy in terms of being honest, but also trustworthy in being very, very, very skilled at what you do. Because when you do a job very, very well, some people will even come to you and want to invest with you. But if you do a lousy job, people will wonder, what type of prayers they need to pray for you. So save, but also be the best at your job. People will give you money. Be very honest. They'll trust you with even more money. Over to you.
Thank you very much. Another question from Sheila Kasuja. She says, great presentation. And then she says, at least there were 2 weeks ago when you hosted us as CPAs, and she was impressed with the place. That's the question, just appreciation. A question from, yes, another one from Chimera Timothy, who is thanking you. 2 more questions here still from Gabo Nzinza, who says, you talked about living in America and many other developed worlds. What brought you back to Africa, to poor Africa, in his words, and how do you gather the courage to come home and help? Yes, another one from Peter Kavanda, who says, what do you consider to be your hallmarks of resilience in business?
All right. Thank you so very much once again for the questions. And Peter. The first question is, having lived in all those countries, what gets me back here? I suppose everybody has their own journeys, and my journey was a bit different. When I needed to go to school in the US, I started off by trying to help. First of all, when I graduated from university in Makerere, I was one of the very few people that got very lucky. I got a job, and it was a very good job. And this is 1986. It was right after the war. I was earning dollars unbelievably, and everybody had nothing. So I got a little concerned. So I tried to start businesses for other people, which miserably failed. So some 2 people watched me. In fact, interestingly, one of them has come to visit me from the UK. They put together money and they said, you know what, you're making many mistakes, but we see your heart is in the right place. Why don't we help you to go to a school that can equip you to use business as a tool for social transformation? Because it looks like that's what you're doing. So I went with a clear purpose. They helped me. Of course, I did a lot of work to pay for my way through school, but the initial seed capital committed me to saying it will only be foolish of me. Okay, you can hear monkeys in the background. Okay, it would be stupid for me not to. So I had to come back because I had committed to supporting this country the way I had initially started, and there was no contract written, but I had it in my heart that if I don't come back, I would have short-sighted myself and my purpose in life. So nothing very heroic. I think I was responding to my heart and the investment that had been made by 2 people, 2 families. One was called Roger and Meg Hesh. Another one is called Dr. Andrew and Greta Nan. And they've been wonderful friends for most of my life. And they occasionally come to see me and we celebrate the initial investment they made. So that is what got me back. The chips and chicken and all of that fortunately followed me until we can eat it here. So the second one was Mr. Kawanda. Peter, you asked the hallmark of resilience. I don't know if I understand what it means. I decided to maintain a very fit body. First of all, I focus on my mission, which is my personal mission is building people who build businesses. But at the same time, if I'm going to do that, I need to maintain a body that is really fit. So I regularly exercise. Lately, I swim every morning and I walk for many kilometers every morning. I do some push-ups to keep my system running. So that allows me not to be sluggish. It keeps me to keep in form. And then finally, I engage with young people that keep giving me new ideas, challenging me to think, and giving me an opportunity to serve and give back to them. That feeds my spirit, makes me resilient, and it gives me reason to keep pushing for another day. So I hope that helps in sort of addressing those 3 questions. Over to you.
Thank you very much. I know we're running short of time, but I'm going to just read the last 3 questions and we shall be done. Yes, so just another question from Gabuziza, who says, how do you link God purpose to money without losing God? Then another one from Joy Tamale, who's first of all appreciating the presentation and saying running a business is not for the weak-hearted, and running a social enterprise is even tougher. What is your biggest scare, or what keeps you awake? And then the third question from the Q&A from Maureen, she says, great presentation. Please advise on how you'd handle human resource. One trains and they take off, or even form syndicates to steal from you. I am frustrated. Please advise.
All right. Those are very nice questions. First of all, I would like to thank you, Dr. Joy Tamale. You are one of my big inspirations in what I do, just in case you didn't know. But I've told you time and again, keep doing the wonderful work that center that you run. What keeps me awake? I suppose, an entrepreneur will always be having 1,000 things that keep them awake. But it's sort of hard for me to think about which ones in particular, because I run different enterprises. Each one of them has a reason that keeps me awake. But the biggest one of this is I get to try to attract very talented people. I persuade them to leave whatever they were doing to come and join me. So failure will not be failure for me as an individual, but failure of an enterprise means that there are a lot of lives and families that I'm putting at risk. So that keeps me awake, keeping the team together. The manager for the Greater Doors is a fantastic gentleman called Richard. He works in the Serena, works in the Sheraton. I gave him the story of the vision that we had, and he came. Now, if I fail, I would have failed him and his family. So is it with everybody else to come, because all of them have fantastic, TV they brought to them. The second one is, so that really keeps me awake, among many other things. Somebody asked, how do you keep God and money together? God doesn't have any problem with money. The problem is with us. So it is actually terrible not to have money, in my opinion, because a lot of the God's work in this country is dependent on going to America to ask for donations from people who work with God and money all together. So I do not know it's a daily work, challenge. But the most important thing is to know that whatever we do, it is all by God's grace. Not because of any wonderful things we have done, but because He's kind and generous and merciful. So every day is a walk. Every day comes with its own challenges. We submit ourselves to Him, and He helps us to swim in this very treacherous lake of entrepreneurship. Then finally, somebody said the human resource dilemma. She trains and they run. She trains and they run. There is a man called Richard Branson. I won't be able to quote him exactly, but he said, train them so well that they can live or something like that. But treat them so well that they see no reason to leave. So I train my people. I encourage them. I bring in mentors. I bring in everybody that I can bring to train them to be the very best they can. I invest a lot of time training them. And then I try to give them reason not to leave. One of the examples I have that I usually tell to other people is when you build a business and you get good people, and you know that the real reason the business is running, or in part, why don't you consider making them shareholders? So as a principle for me, I have a formula. In fact, I have a business that's 22 years old, a story for another day. The staff I have there on average are 10 years old. Everybody has tried to poach them, but they're difficult to poach. Why? Because they're shareholders in the business. Peter, you know them. Ngabonziza, you've seen them. I don't even need to go to those businesses because we are together on the same bus. I don't eat alone. CEOs eat last. And for me, as a chief servant officer, I have to be the very last to eat. So I hope that does help somehow in answering the question. Over to you.
Thank you so much for answering all the questions. I hope you can hear me.
I can hear you.
I hope you can hear me. Okay, great. Thank you so much for answering all the questions. We have run short of time, but I am sure that I have read every question. The things that I might have missed were appreciation for the presentation and how much people are inspired. I would like to close Q&A. I hope, Dr. Edith, is your microphone audible so that I can hand it back to you?
Yes, it is audible now.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Josh, for managing Q&A so well. I would like to appreciate Mr. Mutesasira once again for being able to present whatever you presented. Great presentation in a very short time. I thank you for the good time management. And I would like to thank you for all that you've been able to talk to us about, because we've learned a lot. We've really learned a lot. Josh, is Principal logged on here?
Doctor, I think he might have been on, but he is not on right now.
All right, he's not on. All right, thank you so much. Shortly, I'll be requesting Director Sarah to give closing remarks and appreciate Mr. Sasira. But as Sarah prepares, allow me to appreciate Mr. Mutesasira. We've learned a lot, and just know that soon we'll be coming to visit you and enjoy those facilities. Oh, I've captured issues here to do with resilience. You are resilience yourself because you've failed in many things, but you fall back. You fall back and be able to continue. I've also captured the issues of station. I've liked what you said, building people who build business. Really, we've learned a lot, and I know people who are logged on today have picked a lot, and will be able to pick lessons and be able to improve our businesses. I've also noted the issue of how to manage the HR and the personnel, because the labor turnover is very high. Even as a tip, you said train them well and treat them well, that they have no reason to leave. I like that. It has made my day. Thank you so much. Director Sarah, Josh, is Director Sarah logged on?
Yes, Dr. Edith Basalira.
Could you unmute Director Sarah, the deputy director of the Mob Center Partnership Innovation and Incubation Center, to give her closing remarks? Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Dr. Edith Basalira, and thank you very much, the business community and all MOBS community that has logged in this morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to add my appreciation to you all that have been able to join the Become a Better Entrepreneur series, our first series this year, 2026. Thank you for supporting the entrepreneurs and also joining in the MOBS community. To Mr. Mutesasira, we want to thank you so much for creating time, for being able to inspire so many business people, so many entrepreneurs on this training. Thank you so much for sharing your journey. We have learned a lot, and we know that we can be able to make businesses, but also with a profit, with purpose attitude. And thank you for the lessons that you've given us on how you started and how you've been able to grow, and also how you've been able to support health of many individuals. Thank you, and we wish you the best. And as you've heard, many people would like to visit your center. So wish you all the best, and I pray that you'll have a blessed day. Thank you, and over to you, Dr. Basalira.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sarah. I appreciate you, the director of the Entrepreneurship Center. I would like to appreciate everybody who logged on this morning. To Mr. Mutesasira, we thank you so much. I'm happy you've promised that you'll come again to present more and more, because you've said there are other businesses which will be for another day. But I would like also to request that we invite you to come and talk to our students, both at bachelor's and also at master's in entrepreneurship. We'll one day reach you out and invite you to come and talk to them. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for logging on this morning. I wish you a blessed Thursday. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you, and thank you again.
You gotta get up. You gotta get up and make a move. 'Cause the world will never see you until you do. No, they don't really care what you're going through. So you gotta show them, baby. You gotta show them the real you. You gotta give them what you got. No, don't let them see what you're not. 'Cause you are strong. You are wise. You are worth beyond 1,000 reasons why. And you can't be perfect, baby. 'Cause nobody's perfect, darling. But no, 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 there's nobody in the world like you. What do you do when you can't let go? What do you say when you just don't know how you feel? And you know nobody knows how you feel. 'Cause everybody's got their own damn problem. So everybody's trying to find their way. And day by day is a struggle. In this world, you know you have to hustle. Just know that you're not alone. You don't always have to be strong all by yourself. I said it's okay to ask for help. Now listen, people will find you, but they don't define you. And you will find people who help redesign you. People will find you, but they don't define you. And you will find people who help redesign you. You are a work of art. Bet you didn't think you'd come this far. Now here you are. Baby, you are strong. You are wise. You are worth beyond 1,000 reasons why. And you can't be perfect, baby. 'Cause nobody's perfect, darling. But no, 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 there's nobody in the world like you.